The Trojan Horse, 1,200 words. Certainly, I'll expand on part 1. The Trojan Horse in approximately 1,200 words. Here's a more detailed narrative for the opening of Humans Destroy Galactic Council's Flagship in Epic Battle. Part 1. The Trojan Horse. The skies above Earth crackled with an unprecedented electromagnetic disturbance. In observatories and military installations across the globe, alarms blared as sensors detected an enormous object decelerating from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead astrophysicist at NASA's Deep Space Network, stared at her monitors in disbelief. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the cacophony of beeping equipment. Within hours, world leaders convened in an emergency United Nations session. The alien vessel, now clearly visible through terrestrial telescopes, had positioned itself in high Earth orbit. Its size defied comprehension, a colossal structure that dwarfed the International Space Station like a whale next to a minnow. As panic began to spread among the general population, a message arrived. It was transmitted on all frequencies, in perfect English, and every other major Earth language. People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Galactic Council, a federation of advanced civilizations. We wish to welcome you into our cosmic community. Please send your chosen representatives to discuss our peaceful intentions. The message was met with equal parts hope and skepticism. In Washington, D.C., President Isabel Reyes conferred with her advisors. It could be a trap, warned General Marcus Stone, his weathered face creased with concern. Or it could be the greatest opportunity in human history, countered Dr. Chen, who had been quickly flown in for the emergency meeting. After hours of heated debate, a decision was reached. Earth would send a delegation, but not just any delegation. They would assemble a team that represented the very best of humanity, brilliant minds and capable defenders, a group prepared for peace but ready for any eventuality. The team was assembled in record time. Dr. Samantha Chen, astrophysicist and first to detect the alien ship, Captain Maya Okonkwo, decorated Special Forces operator, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, xenolinguist and cultural anthropologist, Zain al-Rashid, ethical AI developer and cybersecurity expert, Dr. Helena Novak, renowned diplomat and negotiator. As the team prepared for their unprecedented mission, the world held its breath. News channels broadcasted 24/7 coverage of the alien ship, while social media exploded with theories and speculation. The day of departure arrived. A sleek shuttle, hastily retrofitted with the best technology Earth had to offer, stood ready on the launch pad. The 5 chosen representatives said their goodbyes, fully aware they might never return. As the shuttle ascended through the atmosphere, Captain Okonkwo couldn't shake a feeling of unease. "Stay frosty, people," she muttered. "Something doesn't feel right." The journey to the alien flagship was surreal. As they approached, the true scale of the vessel became apparent. It was a city in space, a metal leviathan that stretched for kilometers. "My God," breathed Dr. Tanaka, her face pressed against the view screen. "It's beautiful." A tractor beam gently guided their shuttle into a cavernous docking bay. As the team disembarked, they were greeted by a delegation of aliens, tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. "Welcome, humans," the lead alien said, its voice a melodious trill. "I am Xylar, High Counselor of the Galactic Federation. We are honored by your presence." Dr. Novak stepped forward, her diplomatic training kicking in. "The honor is ours, High Counselor. We come with open minds and hopes for a peaceful exchange." The aliens led the human delegation through corridors of impossible architecture, where gravity seemed to shift and bend. Holographic displays flickered with information in languages beyond human comprehension. As they walked, Zain al-Rashid's cybernetic implants, a secret edition courtesy of a classified military program, were hard at work. His enhanced senses picked up minute details, the subtle vibrations of hidden machinery, the almost imperceptible delay in the aliens' translated speech. The team was ushered into a grand chamber, clearly designed to impress. A semicircle of alien dignitaries awaited them, their faces impassive. High Counselor Zillar began a lengthy speech about galactic harmony and the benefits of joining their federation. But as the words flowed, Captain Okonkwo's trained instincts screamed danger. She caught Dr. Chen's eye and gave an almost imperceptible nod. They had prepared for this. While the aliens were focused on the formal proceedings, the two women slowly separated from the group, feigning interest in different parts of the chamber. Okonkwo's hand brushed against a hidden panel, and a small, spider-like drone no bigger than a coin emerged from her sleeve. It scuttled away, unnoticed by their hosts. Meanwhile, Dr. Tanaka engaged the aliens in conversation, her expertise in xenolinguistics allowing her to pick up on subtle nuances in their language. Something was off. The way they spoke of Earth seemed almost condescending. Hours passed in a whirlwind of tours, presentations, and discussions. The humans were shown marvels beyond their wildest dreams. Zero-point energy generators, faster than light engines, even devices that seemed to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. But beneath the veneer of hospitality, tension simmered. Zane's implants detected encrypted transmissions spiking whenever the humans asked probing questions. Dr. Novak, with her years of diplomatic experience, sensed an underlying current of hostility beneath the aliens' polite exteriors. As the Earth delegation was shown to their quarters for the night, Captain Okonkwo's drone returned, undetected. The team gathered in Samantha's room, ostensibly for a friendly nightcap. "All right, what have we got?" Okonkwo whispered, her voice barely audible. Zane connected the drone to his neural interface. His eyes widened. "Oh no," he breathed. The drone had accessed the ship's central database. What it found chilled them to the bone. Plans for invasion, strategies for resource extraction, detailed analyses of Earth's defenses, or lack thereof. "They're not here to welcome us," Dr. Chen said, her voice shaking. "They're here to conquer us." The revelation hit like a physical blow. Everything. The grand tour, the talks of peace. It had all been a ruse. "We need to warn Earth," Dr. Novak said, her usual calm demeanor cracking. "No," Captain Okonkwo countered. "We need to do more than warn. We need to act." A plan quickly formed. They couldn't hope to overpower the aliens, but they had something the Galactic Council didn't expect: the element of surprise. Zane's cybernetic implants had detected a vulnerability in the ship's quantum AI system. With access to the right terminal, he could potentially implant a virus that would cripple the flagship. "It's risky," Zane warned. "If we're caught, Earth loses its only advantage, the knowledge of their true intentions." Dr. Tanaka spoke up, her voice resolute. "Then we split up. Half of us stay to execute the plan, half make for the shuttle to warn Earth." The decision was made. Captain Okonkwo, Zane, and Dr. Chen would remain aboard to attempt sabotage. Dr. Novak and Dr. Tanaka would make a run for the shuttle under the guise of retrieving important documents. As the team prepared for their respective missions, the weight of their responsibility settled upon them. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders. "Whatever happens," Captain Okonkwo said, her voice filled with determination, "we give these bastards hell." With a final nod of solidarity, the team split up. As Dr. Novak and Dr. Tanaka headed for the docking bay, Captain Okonkwo led her team deeper into the heart of the alien flagship. The Trojan horse gambit had worked. They were inside the impenetrable defenses of the Galactic Council. Now, the real battle would begin. Little did the aliens know, they had invited aboard the seeds of their own destruction. Humanity's finest were loose in their stronghold, armed with courage, ingenuity, and the unshakable will to survive. The war for Earth's future had begun. Certainly. Here's the continuation of the story with Part 2. The Great Deception, in approximately 1,200 words. Part 2. The Great Deception. The corridors of the Galactic Council's flagship pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence, casting shifting shadows as Captain Maya Okonkwo led her small team through the labyrinthine structure. Dr. Samantha Chen and Zayn al-Rashid followed closely, their senses on high alert. "Remember," Maya whispered, her voice barely audible. "We're just lost, confused humans if anyone spots us." They had left their quarters under the pretense of exploring the ship, a ruse made plausible by their earlier expressions of wide-eyed wonder at alien technology. Now that same wonder was their camouflage as they sought the ship's central processing core. Zane's cybernetic implants worked overtime, processing the alien ship's emissions and data streams. "We're close," he murmured. "The quantum fluctuations are getting stronger." As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a patrol of alien security drones, hovering, spherical machines bristling with sensors. The humans froze. Maya stepped forward, adopting a look of confused embarrassment. "Oh, we're so sorry," she said, her voice pitched high with feigned nervousness. "We were trying to find the observation deck. Everything looks so similar here." The drones scanned them, their emotionless visages betraying nothing. After an agonizing moment, they chirped something in an alien language and moved on. Quick thinking, Samantha breathed once the drones were out of earshot. "Let's hope our luck holds," Maya replied grimly. They pressed on, navigating through areas of increasing security. Zane's implants proved invaluable, allowing them to dodge patrols and bypass locked doors with spoofed access codes. Finally, they reached their target, a massive chamber housing what could only be the ship's central AI core. A crystalline structure the size of a building pulsed with otherworldly energy, surrounded by a dizzying array of control panels and holographic interfaces. "My God," Samantha whispered, her scientific mind racing to comprehend the technology before her. It's beyond anything we could have imagined." "Can you make sense of it, Zane?" Maya asked, her eyes constantly scanning for threats. Zane approached a control panel, his cybernetic implants interfacing with the alien technology. His eyes fluttered rapidly as he processed the incoming data. "It's incredible. Their entire network is based on quantum entanglement. But there's a flaw in the encryption algorithm. If I can just..." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red light flooded the chamber. "Shit," Maya hissed. "We've been made." "Zane, how much longer?" "I need 2 minutes," he said, fingers flying over the alien interface. "Maybe 3. "You've got 1," Maya replied, unholstering a compact weapon she'd managed to smuggle aboard. "Sam, help me barricade the door." As Maya and Samantha franched work to secure their position, Zane delved deeper into the alien systems. The quantum AI fought back, adapting to his intrusions with terrifying speed. But Zane had a secret weapon: human unpredictability. Certainly. Here's part 3. Earth's Finest Hour, continuing the story in approximately 1,200 words. Part 3. Earth's Finest Hour. The stolen alien fighter streaked through Earth's atmosphere, a ball of fire against the dawn sky. Inside, Captain Maya Okonkwo, Dr. Samantha Chen, and Zain al-Rashid clung to their seats as the ship bucked and shuddered. "Zain, please tell me you can land this thing," Maya shouted over the roar of superheated air. "Theoretically," Zain replied, his eyes unfocused as he interfaced with the alien craft. "Practically, we're about to find out." The ship screamed over the Nevada desert, narrowly missing the peaks of Mesas and Butts. With a final, gut-wrenching lurch, it skidded to a stop in a cloud of dust and pulverized rock. As the team stumbled out of the craft, they were immediately surrounded by a squadron of F-35s and a contingent of heavily armed soldiers. "Stand down," Maya shouted, hands raised. "We're human. Operation Trojan Horse. Authorization code Omega-7 Delta Niner." There was a tense moment before the soldiers lowered their weapons. A familiar face pushed through the crowd. Dr. Helena Novak. "Thank God you made it," she said, embracing each of them in turn. "We've got a lot of work to do." At the Pentagon, the team was quickly ushered into a war room where world leaders had gathered via secure video conference. President Isabel Reyes stood at the head of the table, her face grim. "Give me some good news, people," she said as the team entered. For the next hour, they debriefed the assembly on everything they had learned: the Galactic Council's true intentions, the virus they had planted, and the impending invasion. "How long do we have?" the Chinese premier asked, his holographic image flickering. Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Based on the data we gathered, we estimate 2 weeks before their fleet arrives. The virus will slow them down, but it won't stop them entirely." The room erupted into a cacophony of voices, each leader arguing for a different course of action. President Reyes slammed her hand on the table, silencing the room. "Enough. We don't have time for politics. This is about the survival of our species." She turned to the team. "What do you need?" Maya straightened. "Everything. Every resource, every brilliant mind. We need to reverse engineer the tech from that fighter and prepare our defenses." "You'll have it," Reyes nodded. "I'm declaring a global state of emergency. As of this moment, all nations are working together." What followed was a whirlwind of activity unlike anything the world had ever seen. The United Nations, typically mired in bureaucracy, moved with unprecedented speed. Militaries across the globe mobilized, setting aside old enmities in the face of a common threat. In a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, the brightest minds in physics, engineering, and computer science worked around the clock to unravel the secrets of the alien fighter. Zane's cybernetic implants proved invaluable, allowing direct interface with the alien systems. But it was a young prodigy who made the breakthrough that would change everything. Alia Patel, a 19-year-old PhD candidate from Mumbai, had been staring at the alien power core for 72 straight hours when she suddenly leaped to her feet. "It's not about the energy output," she exclaimed, her eyes wild with lack of sleep and excess caffeine. "It's about the field manipulation." Her insight led to the development of a revolutionary shield technology. Within days, prototypes were being tested on military installations around the world. Meanwhile, construction began on a global network of underground cities. Using boring technology developed for Mars colonization plans, massive caverns were excavated and fortified. These would serve as both shelters for civilians and hidden bases for Earth's defenders. As the days ticked by, tension mounted. The alien virus continued to wreak havoc on the Galactic Council's systems, but reports from deep space monitoring stations confirmed the approach of a vast armada. Alia's shield technology was rapidly integrated into a hastily constructed fleet of Earth defense ships. These vessels, cobbled together from the best of human engineering and reverse-engineered alien tech, represented humanity's last line of defense. With just 48 hours to go before the estimated arrival of the alien fleet, President Reyes addressed the world. "My fellow citizens of Earth," she began, her voice steady despite the weight on her shoulders. "For millennia, we have looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know the answer, and it has brought us to the brink of annihilation. But I stand before you today not in fear, but in awe. In awe of what we have accomplished in mere days. In awe of the human spirit that refuses to bow, even in the face of impossible odds." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the camera. "We face an enemy that believes us weak, primitive, easy to conquer. They do not know us. They do not understand that our history is one of overcoming, of defying the impossible. From the depths of our oceans to the surface of the moon, we have always pushed beyond our limits. And now we will push beyond the stars themselves." As Reyes spoke, final preparations were underway. The last civilians were being moved to the underground shelters. Defense grids were brought online, their energy signatures carefully masked to avoid early detection. In orbit, the newly christened Earth Defense Fleet ran final system checks. Captain Maya Okonkwo sat in the command chair of the Flagship, christened Humanity's Hope. Around her, a bridge crew composed of the best pilots and tacticians from every nation on Earth worked in perfect harmony. Dr. Samantha Chen's voice came over the comm from her position in the Lunar Science Base. "Fleet Command, we're detecting anomalies at the edge of the solar system. They're coming." Maya took a deep breath. "Understood. Lunar Base. All ships, battle stations. This is not a drill." As klaxons blared throughout the fleet, Maya allowed herself a moment of reflection. The fate of humanity rested on what would happen in the next few hours. Everything they had worked for, every breakthrough and sacrifice, would be put to the test. On screens around the world, President Reyes concluded her speech. "To our enemies, I say this. You came expecting to find an easy conquest. Instead, you will find humanity's finest hour. And to every human listening, I say, stand tall, stand proud, stand together. For in this moment, we are one people, one planet, united in our determination to live free. May God be with us all." As the speech ended, a cheer went up from every corner of the globe. In bunkers and shelters, in ships and stations, humanity steeled itself for the fight of its life. The first wave of the Galactic Council's invasion fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their massive ships casting long shadows over the lunar surface. But as they approached Earth, expecting to find a helpless planet ripe for conquest, they were met instead by a bristling array of defenses and a fleet of ships that glowed with strange, powerful energy. Maya's voice rang out clear and strong over the Earth Defense Fleet's comm system. "All ships, weapons free. Let's show these bastards what happens when you pick a fight with humanity." As the two fleets clashed in the space above Earth, the planet below held its breath. The battle for humanity's future had begun, and failure was not an option. Certainly. Here's part 4, Turning the Tides, continuing the story in approximately 1,200 words. Part 4, Turning the Tides. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of destruction as Earth's defense fleet engaged the Galactic Council's armada. Beams of energy crisscrossed the blackness, and explosions bloomed like silent, deadly flowers. Aboard Humanity's Hope, Captain Maya Okonkwo barked orders, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Gamma Squadron, flank their dreadnought. Delta, provide covering fire." Earth's ships, though fewer in number, moved with an agility that caught the alien fleet off guard. The shield technology developed by Alia Patel proved its worth, absorbing hits that should have vaporized the human vessels. But the aliens were quick to adapt. Their superior numbers began to tell, pushing Earth's fleet back towards the planet. "Captain," Zane called out from his station, where he interfaced directly with the ship's systems, "we can't hold this line much longer." Maya gritted her teeth. "We have to. We." Her words were cut short as a massive energy blast rocked the ship. Alarms blared, and the bridge filled with smoke. "Status report," Maya shouted, pulling herself back into her chair. "Shields at 30%, came the response. "We've lost Epsilon and Beta squadrons. The aliens are pushing through Sector 7. On the main view screen, Maya watched in horror as the Galactic Council's flagship, a behemoth that dwarfed even their largest vessels, began to descend towards Earth. "All ships, fall back to secondary positions," Maya ordered. "We need to regroup." As Earth's battered fleet retreated, the situation looked grim. But even in that dark moment, hope was not lost. On the lunar base, Dr. Samantha Chen worked feverishly alongside a team of scientists and engineers. They had been monitoring the battle, analyzing every piece of data they could gather on the alien technology. "There," Samantha exclaimed, pointing at a complex series of equations floating in the holographic display. "Do you see it?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka leaned in, her eyes widening. "The fluctuations in their shield harmonics, they're not random." "Exactly," Samantha nodded. "They're cyclical. If we can predict the pattern, we can find a weakness," Yuki finished. The two scientists shared a moment of elation before reality set in. They had a potential game changer, but with communications disrupted by the battle, how could they get this information to the fleet? Meanwhile, on Earth, Alia Patel had not been idle. Working with a team of quantum physicists, she had pushed her shield technology to its limits. "It's not just defensive," she explained to President Reyes and her advisors. "With enough power, we can weaponize it." "What do you mean?" Reyes asked, leaning forward. Alia's eyes gleamed with excitement. "We can create localized singularities. Micro black holes. They'll only last for a fraction of a second, but the gravitational effects could tear their ships apart." Reyes finished, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "But implementing this technology would require getting close to the alien vessels, closer than their current tactics allowed." Back in space, the battle raged on. Earth's fleet had regrouped, forming a defensive perimeter around the planet. They fought valiantly, but it was clear they were outmatched. In a desperate move, Maya made a decision. "All hands, prepare for emergency maneuver Omega." The crew looked at her in shock. Maneuver Omega was a last-ditch tactic, one that would bring them dangerously close to the enemy flagship. "Captain," her second-in-command protested. "The risk is necessary." Maya cut him off. "Sometimes you have to roll the hard six. Execute the maneuver." Humanity's hope broke formation, accelerating on a direct course for the massive alien flagship. Other ships followed, creating a spearhead aimed at the heart of the enemy fleet. As they closed in, something unexpected happened. The virus Zane had planted weeks ago, dormant until now, suddenly activated. Across the alien fleet, ships began to lose power, their movements becoming erratic. "Now," Maya shouted, "all ships, concentrate fire on the flagship." A withering barrage of energy weapons struck the alien vessel. For a moment, it seemed like it might hold. Then, with a series of spectacular explosions, the massive ship began to break apart. The destruction of their flagship threw the alien fleet into disarray. But the battle was far from over. As humanity's hope veered away from the debris field, a lucky shot from a dying alien cruiser struck them amidships. "We're losing power," Zane called out. "Engine core is critical." Maya knew they had one chance. All power to forward shields. "We're going to ram them." The crippled ship surged forward, aimed at the heart of the alien formation. At the last second, Maya gave the order. "All hands, abandon ship." As escape pods jettisoned from humanity's hope, the ship plowed into an alien dreadnought. The resulting explosion took out several enemy vessels and created a gap in their lines. Earth's remaining ships pressed the advantage, pouring fire into the breach. The tide of battle was turning, but at a terrible cost. As Maya's escape pod tumbled through space, she watched the battle unfold on its small view screen. Earth was holding its own, But for how long? Suddenly, her pod's communication system crackled to life. Captain Okonkwo, this is Lunar Base. Do you read? I read you. Lunar Base, Maya responded, relief flooding through her. We found a weakness in their shields. Samantha's voice came through, excitement evident despite the static. And there's more. We've developed a new weapon. We're transmitting the data now. As the information flowed in, Maya's eyes widened. This could change everything. But with humanity's hope destroyed, how could they implement this new strategy? As if in answer to her unspoken question, a new ship appeared on her view screen. Sleek and powerful, it moved unlike anything she'd seen before. Captain Okonkwo, President Ray's voice came over the comm. Meet humanity's ace in the hole. We call it the Phoenix. It's equipped with Alia's latest innovations. Think you can handle her? A grin spread across Maya's face. Yes, Mom. I believe I can. Rescue ships quickly collected Maya and other key personnel from their escape pods. Within minutes, they were aboard the Phoenix, marveling at its advanced systems. This ship, Zane breathed as he interfaced with its computers. It's like nothing I've ever seen. The processing power alone. Can you make it dance? Maya asked, settling into the captain's chair. Zane's answering smile was all the response she needed. As the Phoenix joined the fray, the battle entered its final decisive phase. Armed with the knowledge of the alien shield weaknesses and the new singularity weapon, Earth's forces began to systematically dismantle the invasion fleet. The Phoenix darted between enemy ships, its advanced propulsion system allowing it to execute maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. With each pass, it left destroyed or crippled alien vessels in its wake. From her command chair, Maya coordinated the entire Earth fleet, bringing to bear every lesson learned, every advantage gained, in a symphony of destruction aimed at the alien armada. As the last of the Galactic Council's ships either fled or were destroyed, a cheer went up across every communication channel. On Earth, in underground bunkers and command centers, people hugged and wept with joy. But Maya knew the battle was not truly over. The Galactic Council had been bloodied, but not beaten. Earth had won this round, but the war was far from finished. As the Phoenix took up a defensive position above the planet, Maya allowed herself a small smile. Against all odds, humanity had stood its ground. They had faced the darkness of space and emerged victorious. Whatever came next, Earth would be ready. The Phoenix hung in orbit, a symbol of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering spirit. The tide had turned, and the stars themselves trembled at what humanity might do next. Certainly. Here's part 5. David versus Goliath. The thrilling conclusion to our story in approximately 1,200 words. Part 5. David versus Goliath. The aftermath of the great space battle left Earth's orbit littered with debris, a graveyard of shattered ships, both human and alien. Aboard the Phoenix, Captain Maya Okonkwo and her crew worked tirelessly to coordinate recovery efforts and maintain a defensive perimeter. Status report. Maya called out, her voice hoarse from hours of issuing commands. Zane, his neural implants interfacing directly with the ship's systems, responded, "Our fleet is at 40% capacity. Repairs are underway, but it's slow going. The good news is we've salvaged a significant amount of alien tech." Dr. Samantha Chen's voice crackled over the comm from the lunar base. "Captain, long-range sensors are picking up something. It's big, and it's coming fast." A hush fell over the bridge as the main view screen flickered to life. What they saw sent a chill through even the most battle-hardened crew members. A massive fleet, dwarfing the previous invasion force, was approaching at faster than light speeds. "My God," breathed Maya. "It's their entire armada." The Galactic Council, it seemed, had decided to commit fully to Earth's destruction. The battle that had felt like a victory now revealed itself to be merely the opening skirmish. President Ray's hologram appeared on the bridge. Her face was grim but determined. Captain, you've seen the reports. What are our chances? Maya hesitated, then spoke the truth. Slim to none, Madam President. We're outnumbered and outgunned. Even with our new technology, I don't see how we can win this. Reyes nodded, having expected this answer. Then we have no choice. We must activate the Omega Protocol. A gasp went up from those who recognized the term. The Omega Protocol was a last resort plan, one so desperate it had been deemed too risky to even consider until now. Madam President, Maya said, her voice low, are you sure? The risks are necessary. Reyes finished. Sometimes you have to roll the hard six. Isn't that right, Captain? Maya couldn't help but smile at hearing her own words quoted back to her. She nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. What do you need us to do? The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. While Earth's remaining fleet engaged the alien armada, the Phoenix would undertake a suicide mission into the heart of the enemy forces. Their goal, to reach the Galactic Council's command ship and activate a device that Dr. Chen and her team had been developing in secret. We're calling it the Harmony Disruptor, Samantha explained as she came aboard the Phoenix with a team of scientists. It exploits the quantum entanglement at the core of their technology. If we can activate it inside their command ship, it should disable their entire fleet. Should? Maya raised an eyebrow. Samantha shrugged. It's untested. We haven't exactly had a Galactic Council command ship to experiment on. As the alien armada approached, Earth made its final preparations. The underground cities were sealed, with humanity holding its collective breath. Every functional ship, from jury-rigged fighters to hastily armed civilian vessels, took up defensive positions. In a stirring speech broadcast across the globe and to every ship in the fleet, President Reyes rallied humanity for perhaps its final stand. We face extinction, she said, her voice steady and resolute. But we do not face it cowering in fear. We face it as we have faced every challenge in our history, with courage, with innovation, and with an unbreakable spirit. Today, we are all one people. Today, we fight not just for our lives, but for our very right to exist in this universe. And let me be clear, we will not go gentle into that good night. We will rage against the dying of the light. As her words faded, the alien armada dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The space around Earth erupted once more into a frenzy of weapons fire and explosions. The Phoenix, cloaked with the most advanced stealth technology Earth could muster, slipped away from the main battle. On the bridge, Maya watched as her home grew smaller behind them. We've got one shot at this, she said to her crew. Let's make it count. The journey to the heart of the alien fleet was a harrowing one. Even with their advanced cloaking, they had several close calls, needing to power down completely to avoid detection. Finally, they reached their target, a massive ship that pulsed with energy, easily 10 times the size of the largest vessel they'd faced before. Well, Zane said, his attempt at humor barely masking his fear. I guess that's where they keep the brain. Maya nodded. Take us in, nice and easy. Samantha, is the Harmony Disruptor ready? As ready as it'll ever be, came the scientist's tense reply. They managed to slip into a docking bay amid the chaos of ships coming and going. As Maya led a small team, including Zane and Samantha, towards the ship's core, the rest of the crew prepared for a quick extraction, or to go down fighting. The alien ship's interior was a maze of pulsing biomechanical corridors. Zane's implants proved invaluable in navigating and avoiding patrols. But as they neared the central chamber, their luck ran out. A squad of alien warriors ambushed them, their strange weapons firing bursts of energy that warped the very air. Maya and her team fought back desperately, their own weapons seeming pitiful in comparison. Go! Maya shouted to Samantha and Zane as she laid down covering fire. Get to the core. Complete the mission. With a reluctant nod, Samantha and Zane sprinted ahead, leaving Maya to hold off the alien forces. They reached the core, a massive, pulsating structure that defied conventional physics. As Zane worked to interface with the alien systems, Samantha began setting up the harmony disruptor. But the device wasn't activating. "It's not working," Samantha said, panic edging into her voice. "The power source isn't compatible." Zane looked at the core, then back at the device. He made a decision. "Yes, it is," he said quietly. Before Samantha could stop him, Zane interfaced directly with both the alien core and the harmony disruptor. Energy arced between them, with Zane's body as the conduit. "Zane, no," Samantha cried out. But it was too late. The harmony disruptor hummed to life, its energy building to a crescendo. Zane, his body racked with pain, managed a small smile. Tell them we did it," he gasped before collapsing. The energy release was catastrophic. It swept through the ship and out into space, a wave of quantum disruption that washed over the entire alien fleet. On the bridges of Earth's defenders, jaws dropped as they watched the massive alien armada suddenly power down, their ships drifting lifelessly in space. Maya, battered but alive, arrived at the core to find Samantha cradling Zane's lifeless body. There was no time to mourn. "We have to go," she said softly. "His sacrifice won't be in vain." As the Phoenix sped away from the command ship, the alien vessel began to implode, torn apart by the very forces it had once controlled. Earth's fleet, realizing their opportunity, launched an all-out attack on the helpless alien armada. Ship after ship fell, unable to raise shields or return fire. In the span of a few hours, the tide had turned completely. The greatest threat humanity had ever faced had been neutralized. As the Phoenix returned to Earth, a bittersweet victory in hand, Maya looked out at the planet she had fought so hard to defend. They had won, but at a terrible cost. The real work, rebuilding, preparing for the future, and coming to terms with their new place in the universe, was just beginning. But she knew one thing for certain. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger. The Galactic Council had sought to destroy them, but instead they had forged humanity into something new, a force to be reckoned with among the stars. As Earth grew larger in the view screen, Maya allowed herself a small smile. Against all odds, David had defeated Goliath, and the universe would never be the same.